Incredible stuff right there. That had the room laughing when he was asked that. But Coach Brown also said what makes him stand out and makes him a big difference maker here is he is really, really strong. Genuinely, he is a strong guy. He also said he has worked hard to get better and better and be the playmaker he is on this defense. Coach Brown also touched on the fact that, you know, there's a difference between getting credit for making the big play and actually making the big play when he was talking about Patorma. So guys, we got to pay attention to number 54 out there. I know he's a nose guard. The defensive line has to get to Cincinnati's quarterback, Brendan Sorsby. Now, the Bearcats offensive line has been beat up the last couple of weeks, but they are returning two of their key players on that O-line. So that's going to be a little bit of a battle here for the Mountaineers. So they just got to start off strong and start off hot. Last season in the month of November, Jaheim White shined and showed that he can be a threat in the run game. Now as a sophomore, we've seen some big moments from him throughout the season, but Coach Brown says everything that he's done this year to prepare is going to be put all together, and he's due to have an explosive game. Coach Brown also added it is going to be crucial to get that run game going and get it going early and often and keep those chains moving. And it starts with playmakers like Jaheim White. But guys, I'm curious the different ways that the Mountaineers are going to get Jaheim the ball, like Coach Brown just told us in that interview. So that's going to be interesting to see. Seems like WVU might have something up their sleeve in this game, guys. We got to keep our eye out for that. This week, the focus heading into this game against Kansas State is discipline. We touched on it earlier in the show. If we look back to last week's game against Iowa State, West Virginia just had way too many mistakes, like you said, too many miscues on both offense and defense and special teams. So the main message in the locker room is we have to be the team that doesn't beat ourselves. One more note that stood out for me from head coach Neil Brown this week is he said, we can't take these things for granted. This was his message to the team. Because you look at last week, Traylon Ray was having a great game, and then unfortunately he gets hurt and his season ended. So with that, he told his guys, you got to take these opportunities and seize them and not take anything that's left in the season for granted. And like we just heard Cole Taylor say, no one wants the season to end earlier than expected, especially the seniors, guys.
Did you know anything about the sport of football?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. I knew nothing about football. I didn't know what football was when I came here. It took me like a couple years to finally get into playing football. But like I knew nothing. My high school coach taught me the game. Shout out Coach Heaton.
So what was it like putting on the pads and getting in the stance for the first time?
It felt so weird.
I bet.
Like I watched the videos of me first playing football, and I'm like, what are you doing? Like it felt so like different.
You side by side now and see the difference.
Yeah, it felt so weird. But yeah, it was it's been a long journey. Coming here, learning everything I learned along the way. Yeah.
So let me ask you this: when you went home from school and you're like, "Hey, Mom and Dad, I'm going to play football," what were their reactions?
No, my mom wasn't a big fan.
I bet moms always worry. So I'm sure her worry level.
She wasn't a big fan of it. My dad was cool with it. But my mom, it took her a long time to come over there.
To the WVU Coaches Show, we are joined now by Vice President and Athletic Director Rem Baker. Thanks so much for joining us.
Absolutely.
It's been a whirlwind of the last few days, I know for you and for Coach Hodge. Can you describe what this process has been like?
Yeah, so when these things happen, you take a day or two just kind of calibrating and deciding what your strategy is going to be.
They haven't seen a home win since September 21st. That was 7 weeks ago against Kansas. Remember, that game did end exciting, but they need to see another home win here. Cue country roads, all the things. So my final thoughts on this one is we need a home win here in Morgantown, and to do that, we need to see all three phases play together. We know special teams has been on a tear of recently, just playing really well. Defense finally finding their way. They did that last game. And then offense, hopefully they can find a rhythm early, kind of what I alluded to earlier.
Coach Rodriguez called you an innovator, and he wanted you on your staff because you are so innovative with your coaching. And you talked about how your defense is going to have a variety of different looks this season. How do you teach that to the guys, especially with this being a new group of guys?
Yeah, it looks complex a lot of times, but it's really simple when you boil it down, I think.
White, hand off to Noah Levine. There he goes. 40.
The two now share an office, and some things never change.
And he still gets on you now, like he did when you guys were playing together.
Yeah, that's natural. That's natural for Pat to get on me and make sure he holds me accountable.
Who runs faster nowadays, you or Pat?
Me, I run faster than Pat. Come on, I'm a running back, not a quarterback.
Rasheed Marshall still has an arm, apparently.
Still pinpoint accurate. Rasheed Marshall can always get it done.
Ryan got a good shot of that, too. But real quick, before we send it back to you guys, Amanda, I got to tell you, you said it earlier in the show, this stadium is playing the tunes. Yeah. Whoever this DJ is, hire him for Golden Blue Nation. We need him. Yeah. We're just on the side dancing every time you guys don't see us on camera. Well, Nick, I got to tell you, humidity 1,000, Sid, me 0. But that did not affect the Mountaineers in yesterday's practice. These guys came out with energy and relaxed and just really ready to go. A question was asked to Coach Sabins after saying, how's the weather affected this team? And Coach Sabins joked and said, I told the guys all week, the most hydrated team is going to win. But he said in all seriousness, look, we've adjusted all season long, and that's what we're going to have to do again this weekend. And that's exactly what the Mountaineers have done at the plate. A strength for WVU has been adjusting when they're at bat. When you look at the stats for this Mountaineers offense, you don't see a ton of home runs. Kyle West leads WVU with 10 homers compared to LSU's home run leader, Jared Jones, with 20. But all season, West Virginia has found success in playing small ball and grinding it out, getting those runs across however they need to. Senior Reese Bassinger says that style of play is West Virginia's identity. And WVU is top 50 in the country in stolen bases. So, Nick, we've seen all season the different ways the Mountaineers have found a way to score, including stealing home a couple of times this season. But they found ways without hitting it out of the park, and it'll be tough in this ballpark. The center field wall is 405 feet out of there. So we're going to see more of small ball play here this weekend.